Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ouch That Hurts. I am your host, Yolani. And in today's podcast episode, I will be talking about accepting your flop era. So without any more chit chatting, let's get started. So right now I'm in a different setting. Typically I do record my podcast episodes just as a regular sit down, but this time I decided to kill two birds with one stone because I'm really running late. Accepting your flop era is definitely one of the most important things that you can do to accept your success. Most of us tend to believe that in order for you to be successful, you got to have successful days every day, and the truth is that not every day is going to be a successful day. Sometimes there's going to be days where you just don't feel like you um are not smart or intelligent or hardworking. And I want to let y'all know that it is okay to feel like that. Some days everybody feels dumb, and the people that say that they work hard for their dreams and they don't have bad days are just lying to you straight to your face. So I wanted to make this episode because the year is already almost over. 2023 is already ending, and I believe that some people just feel this need to talk more about the goals, and most of the times people didn't achieve the goals that they wanted, and it is okay. So we just gotta accept this flop era if you have one and live up to it. So I do have some notes over here, so if you see me reading, it's gonna be because of that. So number one is understanding that you are indeed a human. It is very hard to illustrate that part or that aspect because many people on social media like to paint the picture that they have the life. And like we've seen many people out there that go to London, go to Paris, go to these places, and you are still stuck in the middle of nowhere. Or at least you're just doing things that are just so boring, and you're just going to school or you're going to work, and it feels like your life is not as exciting. And that's why social media is such a very complicated topic to be a very complicated topic that really has impacted on mental health because we do like to compare ourselves with other people that we've never met, people whose lives are going to be a lot different than us, and we just can't relate to them. Even the YouTubers that have had a very rough beginning and now they're making so much money, it's really hard to really relate to them. And I'm just letting you know that it's part of the process. You're a human, and you will feel jealousy, you will feel those sense of not liking your life or wanting to live like that because it just feels like your life is just repetitive, and it feels like you're trapped into the matrix, and you're trapped into something that is just not as exciting as other people see it. We see the private jets, we see the Gucci, we see the Chanel, we see the trips, we see the food, we see the shopping malls, and we just feel like, are we ever going to get there with my salary, the salary that I'm earning, the salary that I'm just not really getting anything from, and I'm just getting by. And I'm just understanding that 95% of people's lives is repetitive, and it is not going to be like in on Instagram. But for some reason, it seems like life on Instagram is a lot. Like it seems like only 5% of people in this world who have that issue or that lifestyle of just going anywhere and travel. That it seems like that 5% is like the 90% in people living like that. And that's the reality of things, that you're still human and success is not every day. So even famous people have their flop eras. We had so many actors or actresses that have had really good roles in the past, and then they're doing a movie and the movie didn't perform as well. And it's just part of the process. Flop eras are so important to get you where you want to be. So The second one is prepare for success. The flop era is crucial because it will give you the sense that you really have to work hard for it. It seems like on Instagram, and I'm blaming Instagram again, but social media in general, it seems like people just have success left and right. And the truth is that in your flop era, if you're in your flop era, you are trying your best and trying everything you can try, or possibly you were trying to like get accepted into this, let's say, school, and it seems like you're in your flop era because no school is accepting you. But you have to understand that you have to apply as many times as you can possibly can in order to get the spot that you wanted. Most people don't have the luxury to get accepted into like 10 schools, and some people only get accepted into two or three, and just realize that the way that you get yourself into, let's say, a school is by applying. And if you apply to so many of them, you'll eventually get into a school. So I think Jenna Fisher, yes, she is Pam from The Office, and she talks about on her in her book the importance of trying 100 times something. If you, let's say, the example was for her was auditioning to different roles for 100 times so she could get her yes. And it's very hard, but it's important because it will prepare you for success. Even all those times where you're applying to these job interviews and you get rejected left and right, it's just preparing you to be better the next time. And it's hard. It's a really hard pill to swallow, and I definitely haven't been able to swallow it. Um, Sometimes when people, when you go into interviews and people reject you left and right, it's very hard to accept the idea because you know you're capable of things and you are capable, but there's outside forces that prevent you from getting what you wanted. And it's out of our world to really comprehend as to why these things are happening to us. My point being is that you just got to try 100 times for just that one opportunity. And it's very hard. So, my recommendation for you to get out of the flop era and to analyze and to be more analytical is to write down every time you try something. Let's say that your goal is to go into get a new job. Well, you got to apply 299 times, and I'm pretty sure that if you apply 100 times, or yeah, 100 times, you will at least get one interview, and that is very important. The process is by far more important than the destination, and it's hard to really acknowledge this and to really put into perspective. But if you do have you're sending 100 interviews. If you do the math, if you send 100 resumes or apply to 100 places, you will at least get a job interview from someone. And then from there, your next goal is to have 100 interviews, and hopefully by the 100th, or you got accepted. So you just got to work step by step in order to achieve that success. Number three is to reevaluate what you want, what you need, what you desire, and write what you want and need and what you desire. So, writing your goals is by far important because it reminds you that you're having a goal in mind and that you're not giving up. I really enjoy in writing down my goals, and I did this back in 2020 where I would have 10 goals for that month or for that 6 month period, and I would write it down, and most of them came true. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna tell you that all the 10 of those goals really came true for me, but they most of them did, and I'm very happy. And I'm very excited that they did because I never imagined that it was possible for me to try something out and for things to go my way. So, just writing the goals every day will help you, and it will remind you that you're living for those goals so you don't get depressed, you don't feel empty, and you don't feel like life is just so hard, much harder than anything else, because it is hard, but I know it's possible.